let me tell you, I love rap music. Like, if you look at my Spotify Wrapped, it is rap music, it is hip hop, it is just literally straight bars. But then you look a little deeper, and you got a few little soft spots. And one of those soft spots that I have personally is for that like mid to like late 2000s. It was like mainstream rock. I don't know that you would consider it rock and roll or soft rock or whatever. To give you an example of what I mean, Take Me. I was just coming home from work, and Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand came on, and oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why that song has no business going as ridiculous as it does, and still they put out that masterpiece into the world and just went on and rode off into the sunset as the champions of life that they are. I mean, that song is just But Franz Ferdinand got me thinking, similar, two very similar things from that song. Not only the name Franz Ferdinand, but there's a line in that song, very common line. It's, "I'm just a shot away from you." I'm sure that was awful. There's a line in the song that says, "I'm just a shot away from you." And let me tell you, there's an individual that's a shot away from you, and that man goes by the name of Franz Wagner. Now, easily, so far throughout this NBA season, easily one of the most interesting teams to pay attention to kind of, especially to look at the individual players and what they're doing, is the Orlando Magic. Of course, they got the great freaking Paolo Banchero with the second pick in the draft. He's been absolutely astounding as a rookie. It's hard to imagine Chet would have been putting up better numbers than this if he was still healthy. Hopefully next season we get a fuller picture. But I mean, dude, if you want to talk about a lock for an award, so why Paolo has been absolutely incredible this season, averaging 22 points a game, almost 8 or 9 rebounds, a few assists, decent efficiency, pretty, solid to if not good on the defensive end as well. On top of Paolo's incredible rookie year, we are finally seeing the true colors of Bol Bol and what that man is capable of. It's like if you're coming home from school and you tell your mom you want some Victor Wembanyama, and your mom says, "We have Victor Wembanyama at home." It's Bol Bol. You have Bol Bol at home, which is fine, because right now that's looking like an absolutely fine replacement for your 7-footer with handles and a shot, and it has been absolutely incredible to see what Bol's been doing this year. But despite the amazing performances of Bol and Paolo, the absolute star for the Orlando Magic has been an individual by the name of Franz Wagner. Looking at super quick check of some stats, you'll see that Franz is the only one who has suited up for all 28 games for the Orlando Magic up until this point. Hopefully that keeps up. The guy's been very healthy to begin his career, and hopefully it stays that way. He's averaging just short of 20 points, and I think he's shooting right around 50% clip rate. I can tell you firsthand that I don't remember what pick Wagner was, but I think it was either the first or second game of last season. The Pistons played the Magic to open it up. And when I tell you this man came out with a freaking torch on him, I'm not kidding you. The man had a freaking absolutely lit us up from deep. Looked like a freaking veteran shooter from his very first game. And to this point, he's proven himself to be capable of that veteran shooter status. Guy can hit from deep. Guy can get into the mid-range. He can bang down low. Right now, it's looking like Franz Wagner might be one of the best scorers for the next few years to come. It'll be interesting to see how Orlando goes forward with the pieces they have. I have a hard time imagining they're going to keep Bol Bol around, because they already have Big and Paolo. Franz is 6'10" or something like that, something ridiculous. He's a huge player to be going at small forward and freaking shooting lights out like he is. So you got to wonder, what are we doing with Franz? Franz could very easily, in my mind, be the number 2 to Paolo to actually get the Orlando Magic back to, I would say get them back to relevancy, but outside of the Penny Shaq, well, I guess the Dwight Howard era was pretty lit too. But aside from those, there's not much relevancy to get back to. God, the Magic have, like, the Magic's front office is awful for what they actually accomplish, but dude, somehow they continue to bring in some of the most interesting and like fan favorite players of the whole league. Between Bull, they got what's his name, the other really tall one, Mo Bamba. They have Mo Bamba. They got Cole Anthony. They got Chuma Okeke. Who else do they have? They have Jalen Suggs. Dude, Jalen Suggs is like that. Like, if they can keep that little trio together of Suggs, Banchero, and Wagner, I don't know, man. That might be like a top 5 trio in the league before we know it, if they can keep it together. I guess the Magic doing well is kind of like asking, when do you think you're going to look up and see the first picks fly? If you couldn't tell, this is one of those videos where I just did not prepare anything. I looked at Franz's stats, and that's all I needed, because I just wanted to talk about how the guy's got a freaking torch. And I feel like he's just like super low-key, kind of going under the radar. I know he either had a season high or career high the other night. The Magic are on like a freaking 3-game winning streak, and like, aside from him and Paulo, like, those are the 2 guys getting you wins right now. Of course, Bul's doing his thing. That whole team is just clicking at a level that I don't think a lot of us expected. I'm probably only saying this because I got Bojan on the brain, but there are some similarities between Franz and Bojan. Do you think Franz Wagner has ever heard "Take Me Out" by Franz Ferdinand? I mainly just wanted to say that Franz is like the sleeper of his draft. We're gonna look back. It's gonna be one of those situations where we look back at that Cade draft in like 10 years, and Cade is missing this season. Who knows how injuries are gonna play down the line? You got Jalen Green. Nobody gives a fuck about Jalen Green anymore. And then, like, we're 10 years down the line. You're gonna look at you're gonna look at Franz Wagner stats, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, this man averaged 20 in Orlando, and then 22, 25, 20. He's averaging 29 points? What? When did that happen? I could very easily see that happening with Franz. One of those guys that just, like, super under the radar, but he's, like, giving you the cleanest, like, 30-piece a night. Don't matter who he's playing against. You are just... if anybody's coming out with a torch, it's Franz. And it feels like one of those things that if anybody is gonna, of that draft, is gonna be a consistent long time scorer, I have a hard time picking anybody over Wagner right now, because the guy has proven himself time and time again to not only, I mean, with the fact that he's been the only player in that Magic locker room to play all 20 games, he might as well be a veteran. He might as well be the veteran of the team, because he's out there more than any of these guys are, and that roster as a whole is so young. I mean, I can't even think of the oldest guy off the top of my head. I'd be surprised if they have anybody over the age of like 30. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna get like some really strong leader to emerge out of this Orlando camp, and whether or not they lead Orlando to the promised land or they go somewhere else and then they finally become that leader that another franchise needs and takes that team to the promised land, I would not be surprised if that individual is Franz Wagner. I don't know how many times I've said Franz today. Take a shot every time I've said Franz. Or Franz, Fonz, the Fonz. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Franz Wagner, absolute torch. Probably going to be like a 24 point per game career score. Nah, 22 for the career. I think he's probably going to peak at like 26 or 7 at some point in his career. Come back in 10 years. Let me know how I did in the comment section below. If you have any other thoughts today, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed what you saw, please feel free to give the video a like and subscribe, where I am super close to 100. And to be honest, when I started all these YouTube videos at the beginning of the year, I was not taking it all that seriously, and even 100 subscribers sounded like a pipe dream. I'm also coming up on 10,000 total channel views, which is absolutely unbelievable. Thank you guys so much. This has inspired me to do this a lot more. It's inspired me to hopefully keep this going in the next year. Hopefully we can see more progress. Once again, as always, my name is Zachary Taylor. Thank you for your time today.